If you've been thinking about building up a modded mini crawler, don't do anything just yet because Furitek already did it for you. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the Cayman Pro ready to run 4x4, and I'm going to show you all the parts that come stock on this rig that are normally bought as options for other vehicles. I'll also give you an idea of how much you're going to save if you buy this kit, and we're going to take it out to see how it performs. You can instantly tell it's not your typical ready to run. This one has been built to perform, and it comes out of the box just as you see it. It includes this Furitek 3-channel transmitter, 2.4 gigahertz, digital trims, just everything you need to get this thing dialed in. Now, the rig itself might look a little familiar at first, and that's because it shares some parts from FMS, such as the Power Wagon body shell. No grill or windshield, those will just weigh the thing down. We do, however, have a nice glossy red paint job on this thing. Absolutely love that. And it has the Furitek magnetic body mounting system already installed on it. The magnets are glued to the body shell, and the bracket has been fixed to the chassis. Love the look of this carbon fiber chassis. Like how low slung it is. Plenty of mounting points for the shocks, and then the battery mounts up here in the center so you get more weight over the front axle. Plenty of mounting points too for the links. You may also notice that it has the electronics mounted on the side on these Delrin plates. Those are an aftermarket option available from Furitek. And now let's move on to the suspension. These are aluminum shocks. They're not oil filled, however. They're just a friction shock for rebound. And then down below, long forelinks front and rear with plenty of mounting points for the lower shock position as well. Now, I was checking out the build on this, and it is really good with the exception of the links. I have an O-ring missing from one side of the link, so it's kind of just flopping around, and then actually there's one up front that's been split, so that's gonna fall off pretty soon. That's my only gripe about this, but let's move on to the driveline. There are those FMS portal axles front and rear. I did pull the cover off the portal housing, and there are metal gears inside from the factory, so that's a lot better than the plastic versions that came on the original Power Wagon. Then the drive shafts to the center, they're the sliding drive shaft, and they made up with the FCX24 Stellar transmission. Really nice aluminum case, precision gears on the inside, carbon fiber cover, and mounted to it is this mini Komodo motor. It's a 2000 kV outrunner motor, and these things just look so cool when they spin, and it spins this thing nice and smooth. Now, this is powered by a Lizard speed controller setup, their micro brushless speed controller in a Delrin housing. And on the other side is the receiver that mates up with the radio that I showed you before. Now, up front is the Springbok metal geared servo, better than plastic, and does have a white servo horn on it. White servo horn crew, let us know who you are in the comment section below. But it does go and swing these Furitek aluminum steering links. Definitely gets rid of flex in the steering system. And that's everything that the rig comes with. You're going to need to supply a battery for it, but this is a really good deal. And I'm just gonna throw out some numbers really quickly so you can get an idea of what this thing really costs if you're really to go and buy it in parts yourself. So the chassis, $60, the motor and transmission, $110, these side plates, $20, servo, it was about 15 bucks. The magnetic body mount, 25. The long links, those were 25. The center skid, oh, I forgot to mention that. Aluminum center skid for that transmission, that's a $25 option. Then the Lizard ESC, I couldn't really find that with the case, but I believe it's around $75 for that. And then of course you got the radio system, the shocks. I'm not sure what the price on these shocks, but when you go and add everything up, I believe you're over $400 in just Furitek parts here. And that doesn't include the FMS rig. So you're getting the axles in this kit, you're getting the 3-channel transmitter and the receiver. So by the time you add it all up, if you were to go buy this thing separately, you're looking at a price tag most likely over $500. And they offer this one for $370. All right, let's go hit the rocks. All right guys, I'm at the trail for some testing, but there's some construction going on across the river, so I'll probably have to overlay some music over the action so you don't hear all the jackhammering, and we'll talk about the performance traits at the end. So the construction noise really killed the audio for the action portion. I apologize for that, but you guys saw how it performed. This little rig is impressive. The most notable being the throttle control of this brushless system. I didn't notice any cogging in it. It's just nice and smooth, even on the descents. The steering servo in here is pretty impressive as well for a $15 servo. Offers plenty of torque. I like the way the truck feels. I think it's pretty well balanced. There is some noticeable weight though from the body. You know, it is a hard body, so it's not as predictable. I would have liked to have seen an oil shock on here just to help smoothen out that transition when you're going over rocks and when you're side hilling. The biggest holdback to this rig as a ready to run is the tires. And I forgot to mention earlier, they don't come glued. You're gonna have to glue them, but it just holds this rig back. There's not a ton of traction to them, and it was a cold day, so the tires were rather stiff, but I think just a better performance tire will really help wake this rig up and help it perform a lot better, as well as some weights. Obviously some brass weights in the front will really help plant this rig, but this is a really great base that does save you money. I've seen some people on some teasers I put out on Instagram saying it's a $370 ready to run. That's ridiculous, but again, when you go and buy all these things separately, it's going to cost you a lot more. So this is a great starting base that is going to save you money. I think Furitek did a great job. And if you're looking for a mini crawler, this is really one to consider.